Motikatika. Sounds familiar. Once upon a time, in a very hot country, a man lived with his wife in a little hut, which was surrounded by grass and flowers. They were perfectly happy together, till by and by the woman fell ill and refused to take any food. The husband tried to persuade her to eat all sorts of delicious fruits that he had found in the forest, but she would have none of them, and grew so thin he feared that she would die. "Is there nothing you would like?" he said, at last in despair. "Yes, I could eat some wild honey," she answered. Her husband was overjoyed, for he thought that sounded easy enough to get, and he went off at once to search for it. When he came back with a wooden pan full, he gave it to his wife. "I can't eat that," she said, turning away in disgust. "Look, there's some dead bees in it. I want honey that is quite pure." And the man threw the rejected honey on the grass and started off to get some fresh. When he got back, he offered it to his wife and treated it as she had done the first bowlful. "That honey's got ants in it. Throw it away," she said, and when he brought her some more, she declared it was full of earth. On his fourth journey, he managed to find some that she would eat, and then she begged him to get her some water. This took him some more time, but at length he came to a lake whose waters were sweetened with sugar. He filled a pannikin quite full and carried it home to his wife, who drank it eagerly, and said she now felt quite well. When she was up and she had dressed herself, her husband lay down in her place, saying, "You have given me a great deal of trouble. Now it is my turn." "What is the matter with you?" asked the wife. "I'm thirsty and want some water," he asked. And she took a large pot and carried it to the nearest spring, which was a good way off. "Here is the water," she said to her husband, lifting the heavy pot from her head, but he turned away in disgust. "You've drawn it from the pool that is full of frogs and hollows. You must get some more." Now the woman set off and walked some further to another lake. "This water tastes of rushes," he exclaimed. "Go and get some fresh." But when she brought back the third supply, he declared that it seemed made up of water lilies, and that he must have water that was pure and not spoiled by willows, frogs, or rushes. So the fourth time she put her jug on her head, and passing all the lakes she had hitherto tried, she came to another, where the water was golden like honey. She stooped down to drink, when a horrible head bobbed up to the surface. "How dare you steal my water?" cried the head. "It is my husband who has sent me," she replied, trembling all over. "But do not kill me. You shall have my baby if you will only let me go." "How am I to know which is your baby?" cried the ogre. "Oh, that is easily managed. I'll shave both sides of his head and hang some white beads around his neck. And when you come to the hut, you will have to call Motikatika, and he will run to meet you, and you can eat him." "Very well," said the ogre. "You can go home." After filling the pot, she returned and told her husband of the dreadful danger she had been in. Now, though his mother did not know it, the baby was a magician, and he had heard all that his mother had promised the ogre, and he laughed to himself as he planned how to outwit her. The next morning she shaved his head on both sides, and hung the white beads around his neck, and said to him, "I'm going to the fields to work, but you must stay at home. Be sure not to go outside, or some wild beast may eat you." "Very well," he answered. As soon as his mother was out of sight, the baby took out some magic bones and placed them in a row before him. "You are my father," he told one bone. "You are my mother. You are the biggest," he said to the third. "You shall be the ogre who wants to eat me, and you," to another, "are very little, and therefore you shall be me. Now then, tell me what am I to do?" "Collect all the babies in the village, same size as yourself," answered the bones. "Shave the sides of their heads and hang white beads around their necks, and tell them that anyone calls Motikatika, they shall to answer it. And be quick, for you have no time to lose. Motikatika went out directly and brought back quite a crowd of babies, and shaved their heads and hung like beads around their little black necks. Just as he had finished, the ground began to shake, and the huge ogre came striding along, calling, Motikatika! Motikatika! Here we are, answered the babies, all running to meet him. It is Motikatika I want, said the ogre. We are all Motikatika, they replied. And the ogre sat down in bewilderment, for he dared not eat the children of the people who had done him no wrong, or a heavy punishment would befall him. The children waited for a little, wondering, and then they all went away. The ogre remained where he was till the evening, when the woman returned from the fields. I have not seen Motikatika, he said. Why did you not call him by his name, as I told you? She answered. I did, but all the babies in the village seem to be named Motikatika, said the ogre. You cannot think the number who came running to me. The woman did not know what to make of it, so to keep him in a good temper, she entered the hut and prepared a bowl of maize, which she brought to him. I do not want maize, I want the baby, grumbled he, and I will have him. Have patience, answered she. I will call him, and you can eat him at once. And she went to the hut and cried, Motikatika! I'm coming, mother, answered he. But first he took out his bones, and crouching low to the ground behind the hut, he asked him how he should escape. Change yourself into a mouse, said the bones, and so he did. And the ogre grew tired of waiting, and told the woman she must invent some other plan. Tomorrow I will send him into the field to pick some beans for me, and you can find him there and can eat him. Very well, replied the ogre. This time I will take care to have him. And he went back to his lake. The next morning, Motikatika was sent out with a basket and told to pick some beans for dinner. On the way to the field, he took out his bones and asked him what he has to do to escape the ogre. Change yourself into a bird and snap off the beans, said Bones. The ogre chased away the bird, not knowing it was Motikatika. The ogre went back to the hut and told the woman that she had deceived him again, and that he would not be put off any longer. Return here this evening, answered she. You will find him on the bed under a white coverlet. You can carry him away and eat him at once. But the boy heard and consulted his bones, who said, Take the red coverlet from your father's bed and put yours on his. And so he did, and when the ogre came, he seized Motikatika's father and carried him outside the hut and ate him. When his wife found out the mistake, she cried bitterly, but Motikatika said, It is only just that he should be eaten, and not I, for it was he, not I, who sent you to fetch the water.